Hello my dears and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be trying a wet set with a DIY no-sew hair roller from the 1930s. Alright my dears, welcome back. Here I am, no hair, no makeup, ready to get ready for bed, but wanting to get ready and have a really wonderful vintage hairstyle for tomorrow. So a little bit of background as to what led me toward making this video is that I have been looking for a way to do a wet set at night that works for me. A couple months ago I decided to cut my hair pretty short, thinking, gosh, it'll be short and it'll be easy and I'll be able to do wet sets all the time because it won't take me hours and hours like it used to when I had long hair. And as it turns out, I think I've only done a wet set twice since I did cut my hair, because it turned out it wasn't just the fact that it took me ages and ages with my long hair to either do pin curls or to roll it on my foam rollers. It also turns out I'm rather uncomfortable in my foam rollers. I know they're supposed to be soft, but somehow I always kind of get jabbed in the head by the plastic part that goes around the outside. And when I do pin curls, I wasn't great doing pin curls with long hair, and it turns out I'm even worse at doing pin curls with short hair. So of course, what did I do? I went on YouTube and I went searching for other creators who had maybe run into the same problem, who had attempted to find solutions, and of course, got to see a bunch of wonderful reveals to see what might work best. Now, one of the first things I saw, of course, were pillow curlers. They are extremely popular. You can buy them online, but I was feeling a bit cheap because if I bought them and I didn't love them, then I had spent that money. And I definitely did see a few tutorials on how to make them, but I have been pretty darn busy at my house, as I'm sure many of you can understand. And with the holidays coming up for summer holidays, I've definitely been working on planning things to do with my family. So I didn't necessarily want to take an entire few days to make pillow curlers. However, I got lucky and came across the long-haired flapper and her tutorial on these 1930s no-sew rollers made out of foam. Craft foam, which turns out for an entire sheet of craft foam is only 99 cents. So for $2 I could get 2 sheets and I could make a whole bunch of these and give these a try. Now the long-haired flapper, as the name indicates, has long hair. However, in her video where she shows how to use these and gives the result, she mentions that in the original magazine where she found this particular pattern, it said it was for short hair, which is what I have got going on today. So I thought, let's give it a try. It's $2. If it doesn't work, what the heck? It's a heck of a lot better than having spent $20, $30, $40, $50 on another curler product and then have it not work out. She also says in her video that she has some chronic health issues that do cause her to have some pain and discomfort while sleeping, and states that these are really, really comfortable to sleep in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is right up my alley. I want to be as comfortable as I can when I sleep. So I did prep my hair. I gave it a really good wash. This was a wash day, and I did prep it with some styling foam, some setting foam, and it's still just a bit damp. So it's ready to go. But before I can start rolling my hair, we need to go ahead and turn this big sheet of craft foam into a whole bunch of these. So let's go ahead and look at the long-haired flappers method. We'll walk through it together and then we'll give this a try overnight. All right, first things first, we need to take this large piece of craft foam and divide it into 6-inch sides. This is 12 inches across, so we can go ahead and just cut that right in half. And then we need to take these 2 pieces and cut them into 1-inch rectangles. Now, once we have a whole bunch of these 6" by 1" craft foam rectangles, we're going to take our handy dandy hole punch and put a hole into the side of each one of them. Just like that, only on one side. All right, now that we have our hole in the end, what we need to do is go ahead and round this end around the hole. And then we're going to taper in these sides. So we're going to come around and kind of taper them in. You don't have to be totally perfect, she says. Something like that. Then this end down here, we want to be angled. We're making a bit of a needle. Okay. Then fold over. And she says to cut straight down the center. I'm gonna look at, make sure we know where we're doing. Cut straight down the center, leaving about 1 to 1.5 inches on either side. Okay. Now, let's repeat the process with all of these. All right, my dears, now that we have a whole bunch of these curlers, it's time to get them put into my hair and give them a test drive. Now, in the video of the long-haired flapper, she mentions what you want to do is to go ahead and section off your hair. I'll take my bangs first. I usually do kind of flip and roll them. My hair has dried just a little bit, so let's go ahead and get it wet again. Got a few long pieces here. All right, and then she mentions that you just take the hair and go between the two pieces, come all the way to the end, and roll. This might take a minute. This is a little bit of trial and error. Pinch. Make sure everything is down and straight. Pinch. Pinch. Bangs are a little bit difficult, but I think I almost had it that time. Start. I'm not sure if I can do my bangs with this. Maybe we'll set these aside. Try one more time. Okay. Okay. All right, that was a little bit of a trial and error. The bangs in particular were really difficult, I think, because they're so short. But I'm going to keep going all the way around and hope that it's a little bit easier with the longer pieces. So let's get rolling. All right, my dears, here we have it. There was a little bit of trial and error with some of the shorter hairs, including the front bangs and the bottom hairs along the back. So we will see how those turn out in the morning. For the longer pieces, the wrap method seemed to work pretty well. I have some layering in my hair, so I did have to roll my hair around the ends as opposed to allowing the curler to simply be folded over, come down, and then roll up. I think if my hair had a straighter cut to it, that would work really nicely because it would sandwich the hair between. But overall, I think it went pretty well for a first attempt, and truly a first attempt. This is me trying this out for the very first time with you all. I think the rolling part went okay, so we will see how things go in the morning. I may choose to put a scarf on my head just to make sure everything stays in place and I don't accidentally brush anything out of my hair in the middle of the night. But the jury's out. We will see how things go when we check back in tomorrow. All right, my dears, we are back, and I did sleep on these foam curlers last night. And as far as comfort goes, I will say I do think these were some of the most comfortable curlers I've ever slept on. And I have slept on traditional foam rollers. I've done pin curls. Honestly, when I was a kid and I had really long hair and I wanted tiny, tiny curls, I slept on perm rods. Yes, my mother took the time to individually coil on the tiniest perm rods available my really long hair, which went all the way down to my waist at the time. So I've definitely slept on some very uncomfortable curlers before, and these actually did pretty darn good. There were a few spots, I think the larger chunks of hair definitely creates a little bit more of a knot, but compared to sleeping on foam rollers, these were much, much more comfortable. So let's take these out. Let's go ahead and brush my hair out and see what happens. I am a little bit nervous. It's all just going to be a big poofy frizzy fro, but I am very hopeful because they were much more comfortable. And for only $2, they were pretty darn good. Even though I did break 2 of them when I was rolling my hair, I still had like 15 extras. So I've definitely got some to play with. So let's start on the bottom and we'll just unroll. Okay, guys. Well, they came out pretty easily. And honestly, they went in pretty easily. It took a little bit of time getting the shorter hairs and figuring out my bangs last night, but overall they did go in pretty easy and they just came out pretty darn easy. I don't think I lost any bits of hair in that. First impressions, these are very, very tight curls. Like, they're definitely not going anywhere. I think if you or a little that you know wants to be Shirley Temple for Halloween, this could be a way to avoid having to sleep on pin curls and sleep on all those bobby pins, because this seems to be matching what she would have. So let's go ahead and we'll just gently finger comb the hair. Start kind of separating the pieces. This is a little bit more ridiculous than I was expecting. Oh, this is the fear, right? Look at that, that's crazy. Let's break some of these up in the back. Oh my gosh. Okay. Trust the process, right? That's what everybody says. That's what all the content creators say. Trust the process. Well, it definitely has a whole lot of lift. I'd say it's a little too bozo for me. I might be able, if I keep brushing and brushing and brushing, I might be able to tame it a little bit more. It's a little big, but then again, like, I'm not sure it's that far off. Like if I had a hat. Maybe we need to check with a hat. And maybe like a comb. Maybe a comb just. Let's grab a hat. Okay. Let's see what we have. It's honestly, so I was feeling like, oh, but honestly, it's, I think if I had the right dress on, it's not bad. I think these might be a little too 1950s. We'll try anyway. I don't know, actually that one works pretty good with this. It's like holding that hat up. I had this one on in the last video. That's not terrible. That's not too bad with the big hair. This one was my grandmother's. And if I'm honest, I think she would have approved of this hair. It clips in the back. I have a lot of navy blue and ivory hats, it turns out. This is a riding cap. All right. I think it's actually pretty good with hats. Not too shabby. I also think I want to try taming it just a little bit. Because actually, now that I've played with hats, and I think if I had like a little skull cap on with it, with the right outfit, I think I would like this hair. But I want to see, can it go a little flatter? Or what other styles can we do with it? So let's give it a little bit more brush action. All right, sorry about that. My camera did seem to cut out, but I did brush things down and kind of nipped things in just a little bit flatter here. Pinned back my bangs, and I did go ahead and pin back a side sweep here. And I am really liking this. Overall, I think I would qualify these 1930s DIY no-sew curlers a success, especially if you are going for a very classic 1930s or even like a 1920s bob feel with your hair. Now it does take a little bit of coaxing to get it to truly lay flat, and you might have a different experience if your hair is a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner than mine. But overall, I think I will definitely be using these again in the future. I also think because this is a wet set and it was done on a wash day, there's a chance I will be able to benefit from this tomorrow as well. If I put a headscarf around my hair tonight, I might be able to brush it a little bit more tomorrow and have it come down and be a little bit looser tomorrow and have a softer feel to it. But overall, I like the end experience here. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. If you like vintage, if you like sewing vintage patterns, and if you like costuming, please hit that like and subscribe button. I would love to have you along with me here on my journey. Thank you guys so much. Bye.